So here we are today at Bube's Brewery, and we're here to meet the two brewers, Brian and Rick.
Nice to meet you. Bo.
We're doing our mug series, and we're going to go make some beer.
Yes, we are.
You guys want to talk a little bit about the beer you're making today?
Today we're going to make a Dunkelweizen, which is it's a traditional German beer. It's darker than a Hefeweizen. It should be it's a wheat beer. It should be cloudy. It should have lots of flavor. It's trial number 3 for us. It's a style that you don't see very often. So, yeah, this is as you can see, our brewery. We started brewing back in 2001 and been operating as a restaurant long before that. But brewing operations resumed. Brian Tietz, I'm the head brewer, and this is Rick Noble. He is the assistant brewer, or his friends always like to joke, the brewer who's not the head brewer. That's fine. So basically for brewing, there's a couple of different styles. If you're going to brew at home, you're going to basically start out with a kit. It'd be kind of like a Lipton noodle soup packet for brewing. After that, you move up to doing an extract brew where somebody else has already got the converted the sugar for you out of the grain and then get it in powder or liquid form. The next step is to go to an all grain brewing, which almost all, I can't say all, but almost all commercial breweries do all grain. And what you do is you get molded barley or a couple other specialty grains and you add water to it to make a mash. And what I'm doing right now is actually stirring up the mash. We did an hour-long rest at 152 degrees to convert the starches and the grain over into simple sugars for the yeast to use. And what we have to do is we have to actually get that up to 168 degrees, which is a mash out temperature. And that'll make the sugars easier to rinse through during a sparge. So I don't know if you wanted to take a look. You can actually see the grains then. Before it was just sitting down underneath. It's called a mash out temperature, which is about 168 degrees to 170 degrees.
Right.
What we'll do is we'll actually use the grains that are in the mash tun as a filter bit to clarify the wort. That first bit of clarification is called Vorlaughing, where you're taking the first bit that comes down, putting it back on top, and letting it rinse. Like what we're doing right now is like the probably the glamorous part of brewing, where you're making it.
Right.
90% of brewing is getting in neck, waist deep into mash tun, scraping it out, or Rick's scraping out yeast on Wednesday.
25% brewing, 75% cleaning up.
Sound like a good average? Here's Rick the cleaner.
Yep, doing what he does best.
Now there'll be pictures of Rick playing with his hose on the internet.
Cleaning up after Brian. That's my job.
There you go. That's what the guy who's not the head brewer gets to do.
This is what I do.
All right, do your thing, man.
All right.
Oh,
There it is.
look at that.
That's our spent grain.
Good shot.
No sugar left.
Yep, very minimal. It's a good average.
Not a fun average, but it's the truth.
See, that's funny because you wouldn't think people that would want to make beer would want to clean up a lot. You know what I mean? Like, because they'd be drunk, but you have to do it. You know, it's the way you keep your materials and your tools.
Absolutely a part of it.
Like I said earlier, we're doing our recirculation, getting ready to do a spark. So as I said before, this is a mash tun. This is where we actually do our sugar extraction. We leave all the grain and the husks behind. We take the sweet liquor, which is called a wort, and transfer it from the mash tun over into a boil cut.
have a good rolling boil. Helps with your clarity, and we don't filter here, so by having a huge rolling boil, we're helping our clarity at the end.
Cool.
Of course, with a Dunkelweizen, it's not so very important. In fact, it's not important at all because we want the Dunkel to be cloudy.
Okay.
We have to do a hop drop. So
Okay.
the hops are the flavoring agent. They kind of look like green pine cones, real small. You'll see them usually on like shirts and things like that whenever they're talking about it. And then we get it actually in pellet form, which is just an easier way to do it. Our kettle can't actually handle whole hops.
Right. Okay.
So what we do with this is what adds the bitterness and a little bit of the aroma. You know, it's a very floral hop. And what we do is you add this into the kettle. And if you've seen the Sam Adams commercial, we try not to do that and have the beer jump out of the kettle. it has been known to happen.
Yeah, it looks like it's a bit warm.
Yeah. All right, kind of a tradition here at Bube's is that whenever we do a hop drop, you pray to the hop gods, hoping they'll bless your beer. So join us, won't you? Join us.
All right, so what we're doing now is we just finished up our 80-minute boil. At Bube's, we do an 80-minute boil. We finished up our 80-minute boil, and then at the end of that, we start a 10-minute whirlpool, which brings all the hops and the trub down to the bottom.
We'll leave from the kettle to go through it's a counterflow chiller. So what it does is a plate chiller. Water goes in one side. Water will go in one and then out. What it does is chill the wort down from 200 degrees down to 70 degrees. Out of the chiller, we add oxygen to it because there's not enough oxygen for the yeast to get started. Out of there, then we go into one of our fermenters. Now, if you notice, the size of our fermenters is a lot bigger than both of these pieces of equipment. So a brew day for us is actually about a 12-hour day. So we have to do 2 batches back to back. So what we'll do is in the morning, we'll get one batch started. While we're doing our boil at our kettle wort, we'll have our second batch going in the mash tun. So we can piggyback everything to try and reduce the time. Bubble a little bit. It's starting to ferment already.
Got it.
There's one of the unique things here is that our beers are usually only 14 days old. But
Okay, that's the end of our brew day. Almost, what, 12 hours in?
yep.
2 batches of double
Fingers
fingers.
crossed. Anxious to taste it in 2 weeks. You gotta come in and join us.
Will do.
Of course.
Let's have to do a follow-up.
In the meantime, after a long day, it's time to, you know what I mean? Go enjoy some Bube's beer.
You guys are ready.
We gotta try some Bube's beer now.
Let's go drink some beer.
Yes.